Hey guys, this is Miss W. I just wanted to connect with you and make sure that you understand, not just in writing, what it is that we're trying to do today. Okay? So what I wanted you to see is the point. Like I wanted you to begin with the end in mind. I am not going to send you this PowerPoint because it's a lot of words and it's a lot of details and it can be a little bit overwhelming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some, not all, of the slides of this presentation and highlight the things that are the most important or pertinent to you, okay, to help you understand it all. So let's start right here. This right here, Objective A for the MYP Passion Project, this is what we're trying to get through today, right? So let's look at what Objective A is. It's planning. So that's part of the rubric that your project's going to be scored on is Objective A. They're going to score you on planning. So number one, Roman numeral 1 right here, you're going to set a learning goal for yourself. You're going to set a learning goal for you and explain how your personal interest led to that goal. So for example, the student that told me he enjoys hiking is going to say in his explanation that I was talking to a teacher, I told her that I love hiking, and eventually it got me to such and such learning goal, right? That's what we're talking about here. So that's letter or number 1, Roman numeral I. So the next one, nope, let me slow down. So the first one, setting a learning goal, I'm going to show you a slide that's just about setting the learning goal, okay? So here we go. For the learning goal, it's 2 pieces to it. It's the product and the goal. Okay, the product and the goal. So the product is the class that you're going to teach, or the photos that you're going to take, or the boat that you're going to build, or the painting, or the getting some company, like a young lady a couple years ago got Amazon to donate like thousands of dollars worth of stuff, right? Like whatever the thing is that we can see or you can tell us about, that's the product. So for most of you all, when we had our conversations a month ago, most of you all could think of the product first, right? Which is fine. You could do either one first or second, but you need to figure out your product. And then the other thing is the learning goal, right? So I'm going to show you an example of a learning goal and like how somebody, a student went through their process to figure out theirs. So here we go. She said, in order to learn about dance, I could, and then they thought of these 3 things, right? They could choreograph a series of dance moves. They could write a research essay about the impact of dance. They could practice for a dance audition, or you see what I'm saying? Like they thought through, all right, what is my goal here? What am I trying to learn? We're not going to tell y'all that. A truly effective, high scoring MYP Passion Project is one where it's clear that the student thought about their own thinking, right? Meaning you thought about how you want to grow as a human being, what you want to do to get better, right? So we're not going to tell you what your goal is. You set that. You tell us what you want to learn, and then we support you through that, okay? Okay, so that was 31. 31 was just showing you, slide 31 was just showing you a sample learning goal as a reminder to this for slide 30, that the learning goal is talking about the product and the goal, right? So let me go back to slide 23. Boom. Okay, so if we do that, or when we do that, we hit this part right here, okay? And we already started coming into this part right here. Number 2, state an intended product. Now here's here's the part that y'all might be a little mad at me. Develop an appropriate success criteria for the product. All right, so that's not as intense as it sounds. I'm gonna show you. What we're saying with this part, with the develop an appropriate success criteria, is we're saying that you And here we go. I just jumped to slide 35. You're setting your goal, right? You're deciding what you want to do. So you set your product, right? You set your learning goal, and you decide how to measure if it was successful or not. Hold up, W, what you just say? You are going to tell us, you know how in class you use a rubric to do a peer review? Like you guys are going to do that today, actually. Similar situation, but instead of the teachers giving you the rubric, you create your own rubric for your project. You decide, okay, how do I define whether or not I did it? Like, did I hit my goal, right? You get to decide what the metrics or measuring tool is. And that's what they call the success criteria. All right. A lot of you guys have already taken foundations of technology. Pretty much everybody in the 9th grade takes that class, right? FOT. So one of the things, I used to teach that class. So one of the things we talk about in FOT, you remember that project y'all did earlier with the bridge and the bridge testing table? So remember that in foundations of technology, your definition of whether or not the project was successful was not based on the breaking of the bridge. All of the bridges broke, right? We kept adding stress. We kept adding weight until the bridge cracked, until it snapped. That did not make it a failure. The success criteria for those bridges was your learning. You're practicing the math. You're going through the engineering design process. You drew it. You did the calculations. My goodness, you did a lot of things, right? That's how we measured your success. And here in this project, you are going to define that. So on this slide, they give you 5 things right here, okay? It's right there. They give you 5, let me see. No, I don't want to do that. They give you 5 things that you should focus on. I'm going to give you an example on the next slide. For each of these 5 statements, you're going to consider how to be successful. Let me use the first one. The first one says target audience. To gain high marks, meaning to score highly on this part of the getting scored for your project. To gain high marks, your work must show that you are aware of who it is aimed at. Let me be clear on that. So if I said, I'm passionate about dance. I'm passionate about dance, and a cause that's important to me is women's health, right? So my audience obviously is women. That's what they're talking about here, is that you're clear on who it is that you're aiming this project at. It ain't just at anybody ever in life, right? If I say that my mom maybe had a heart issue. So my specific focus is the heart health of women from let's say 35 to 45. Well, that's your target audience, guys. That's what they're saying here, is that you show evidence that you understand who it is you're trying to help. So I'm going to show you an example on the next slide. Right here, you see, it's just one sentence. They said, I will use language suitable for an adult audience in my initiation. That's all this is asking you, is to write a sentence where you show us in that sentence that you know that who your audience is. So if you told me, for example, you were doing a toy for little small kids, your sentence might say, I'll make sure that my photos are age appropriate for daycare kids, like little kids, right? Less than kindergarten. I'm going to make sure that my pictures and my vocabulary are appropriate for children from the ages 2 to 5. That's how I answer number 1, okay? If, let's say, my project was for little kids, little babies. Number 2, purpose. You need to make it clear that you understand what the piece of work is trying to achieve. So let's look at an example. I will use high quality images that represent the event my invitation is for. You need to make it clear that you understand what the piece of work is trying to achieve. So My sentence, let's say it's that activity for little kids, I might say something like, my success criteria for purpose. I might say something like, if the purpose of my project is to help small children with reading phonics, and y'all know phonics is like the very basics of reading, understanding how sounds go together. I may say something like, for number 2, I will use tested phonics skills to ensure the toddler's retention of knowledge, right? Like, so what I just said is me. I repeated who my audience is. I didn't have to for number 2, but specifically, I want to focus on phonics, like teaching little babies the very basics to learn how to read. So I talked about tested. I've researched. I'm telling them that I researched proven ways that you teach little toddlers phonics. That's what I'm going to say in this sentence to get the highest score for number 2. Number 3, quality. Use of high quality images, work free from spelling errors. Okay, so number 3 here, I will make sure that my invitation tells the guests where and when the event is. That's easy, right? That was an easy one. We just got to write a sentence about quality. I'll make sure that my videos for the young children are high quality film editing with high quality audio. That will be my number 3 for my example. Number 4, consistency. Use of similar layout, font, color, and scheme. This one says, I will check my work to ensure it has no spelling errors. You really could use that one directly, couldn't you? Because I think we should all do that, shouldn't we? In my case, for consistency, I might say something like, to be appropriate for my age group, I may say something like, I will ensure that I strictly use primary colors and age appropriate art. When I say art, I mean like the images that are in my video. I got to make sure it's right for 2 to 5-year-olds. So something like a fire engine, that could work for a 2-year-old, right? But something as complicated as maybe the internal workings of a computer. Like, you wouldn't show a motherboard to a 3-year-old. They don't know what that is. It just looks like shiny lights. We got to make sure that it's appropriate for our audience. And then number 5, specific requirements. If you have been told to include something in your work, this could be one of your success criteria. I will include a picture of a person playing sports as an example. So this person said, I will make sure I meet all of the specific requirements listed. That one, y'all, number 5, that may be a conversation to have with your passion project supervisor. I'm sure along the way, when you get with your supervisor, somebody in the building is going to be a supervisor to you. When you get with them, I'm sure that they'll notice something that they may point out to you, right? So you may have a number 5 from that. Number 3, this is the last one for objective A, says present a clear, detailed plan for achieving the product and its associated success criteria. So look, so what's going to happen today is you may not have the bandwidth, meaning you may not have the time to create your whole entire detailed plan, but I'm going to give you some tools to help you at least set some SMART goals. Okay, SMART goals are measurable goals set with an intent. Okay, so I have some tools for you. I have a YouTube video for you to help you with that. I'm really proud of you. I know that you'll do exceptional today. You've got the best teacher. Okay, so focus. You got this. I'm going to come by to see you. I appreciate you guys and your hard work. All right, peace.